First thing to remember with Porter's theories are that some textbooks say strategies, some books say approaches. I think the study design says approaches. Doesn't matter. We're talking about the same thing. So first thing you need to be able to do with this is describe the two strategies or approaches. And what does Porter say? He says you've got to achieve a competitive advantage where you are superior or have a point of difference to your competitors. And there's two ways to do it. One is the lowest cost, or you might say cost leadership. Same thing. We produce at the lowest cost and offer the lowest prices. Our competitive advantage is the price. Or we are a differentiated business. We have a product that is superior with unique features. And our competitive advantage there is the product itself. What else might you need to know? Well, if you looked at some case studies as we did this to help us understand, we said in department stores, lower cost, we're looking at businesses like Kmart, Reject Shop, and to a certain extent IKEA, versus Myer and David Jones. We did supermarkets, in particular Aldi. We put a lot of time into Aldi, lower cost, versus Coles Local or Leo's Fine Food and Wine. And lastly, for differentiation, we looked at mobile phones. We said Motorola and Nokia at the lower cost, but at the premium end, Samsung, and we looked at Apple. What else do you need to do? You need to outline how Porter says the strategy should be implemented. Porter says just know what you want to be. Focus on only doing one strategy at a time. You should either be lower cost or differentiated. Don't try and be both. He calls that stuck in the middle. And some businesses we looked at that said might be stuck in the middle were Myer, maybe the supermarkets a little bit, particularly Coles, and Virgin Australia. Now, the main part of the topic is for each of the strategies, can you describe how to implement it, discuss its strengths or weaknesses, propose and justify which strategy should be implemented for a case study, or identify and describe which strategy is being used in the case study. Lot to remember, but to do that, just fall back on your knowledge. If you know ways to implement each strategy, its strengths and weaknesses, you can answer all those questions. So with lower cost, how to implement it? We said economies of scale, no frill products, use your human resources to lower costs, implement your technologies, your waste management, your just-in-time, etc. to lower costs. Strengths, competitive advantage when consumers are price conscious, like with, say, supermarkets. More recession-proof. You can compete against foreign businesses, which are cheaper, and you've got a lot more bargaining power of suppliers because you buy a lot more. But there's some bad things. Consumers are only loyal to the price, easy for people to copy you, perception that low prices are low quality, and it's just a strong downward spiral in prices if that's the only way people compete. What about differentiation? We said you can innovate and have new products, you can make better products, you can develop loyalty strategies, but marketing, create a really strong brand image. Strengths, well, in industries where quality and loyalty are important, like mobile phones, this is a great strategy. Benefit, you can charge premium prices. It's difficult for people to copy you, and there's less pressure on competitive rivalries through price. But weaknesses, difficult when the economy's gone bad or consumers become price conscious. Your product costs too much. You find it hard to compete against foreign businesses, and it's for a lot of foreign businesses can easily copy your unique feature if you don't have a strong patent or trademark. Last thing, can you compare the two strategies? So we had some similarities. They're both going to help you achieve your objectives. We went back to chapter 1 and got our objectives that we learned. And they're both designed for you to achieve a competitive advantage over other businesses. Differences, well, that's kind of obvious. One standardized, mass quantities, low prices. The other is a unique product in smaller quantities at premium prices. And lastly, each achieves a competitive advantage differently. Lower cost is with the price. Differentiation is with the product, feature, or benefits.